Good morning, everybody, including all of you guys on YouTube. Now everybody's watching. Welcome to Living in the Light Church, which is an independent spiritualist church. Our Sunday service is on the first, second, and third Sunday of each month. I ask you now, let me do that myself, to silence any cell phones. Yep, let's do that now. Let's all do that now. And as you can see, I've done that myself. Hope you all do that too. With you at home. I'm a medium, so I can hear that too. Yes, sir. All right, I love doing that. I found somebody doing that a long time ago, and so that inspired me to be silly, kind of like that. Sorry about that. I am a Babylon minister in training, and I will be chairing the service today. We have coffee, bottled or canned water in the back of the service, and the restrooms are in the building to the right, except for the women's restroom today. It's closed, so you'll have to go through the tunnel, the scary, scary tunnel. We welcome you to browse a selection of books, library books in the back. We ask for a $1 donation to check out our books and so that you can keep them on for 60 months. We have a healing book in which you are welcome to add names of people who you would like to see receive healing. Opposite that page is where you can put the name of those who have crossed over to the other side recently. Now, if you are new to Billets, on the first and or third Sunday is where you can ask a question of spirit. Today is the second, so we will actually be doing regular readings. Okay, we are joined here today with Reverend Bob and myself, Minister Avery Bell. All right, and now let us stand to sing the opening hymn, and please remain standing for the opening invocation. The hymn today will be He Leadeth Me, page 7. 7? Yeah, or should we do it?
No, He leadeth me. I heard He healeth me.
No. He leadeth me. Open my eyes to the beauty of the world, to the wonders and mysteries of creation, to your presence and to your power. Open my heart to the love of others, to their goodness and their grace, to the great love that is everywhere. Amen. You may now be seated. But hold on to those books, because we will now be we will now be reciting the reading principles, which are found in the inside cover of your hymnal books, beginning with number 1. We believe in infinite intelligence. We believe that the phenomena of nature, both physical and spiritual, are the expression of infinite intelligence. We affirm the correct understanding of such expression and living in accordance therewith constitute true religion. We affirm that the existence and personal identity of the individual continue after the change called death. We affirm that communication with the so-called dead is in fact scientifically proven by the phenomena of spiritualism. We believe that the highest morality is contained in the golden rule. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. We affirm the moral responsibility of individuals, and that we make our own happiness or unhappiness as we obey or disobey nature's physical and spiritual laws. We affirm the reason that the doorway to reformation is never closed against any soul, here or hereafter. We affirm that the precepts of prophecy and healing are divine attributes proven through mediumship. These are very beautiful principles to live by. I follow each and every one of these principles every single day. I inspire you to take one of these principles out of your daily lives and just to walk with them. And now the spiritual healing service will be led by Reverend Bob, and then we will have a meditation led by Lynn.
Well, good morning, everyone. And thank you all for attending for today's service. It's getting a little chilly out there, isn't it? But that's why we need to do healing, get things warmed up, get our bodies warmed up so we feel good again. So we do have a healing book at the back, and if you feel that someone needs healing that can't be here, make sure to put their name on the list. I see it's already beginning filled in. And as part of the healing service, we will be singing the healing hymn and reciting the healing prayer. I will then ask our healers to station themselves at the healing chairs, and you're free to come on up to get a hands-on healing. Please be aware that hands are working energy provided by Spirit into the chosen healing mediums to send spiritual healing energy into those that are in need. And in order to become certified, some of our healers need affidavits. We have affidavits in the back. So after your healing, if you feel like you really got some beneficial healing, we ask you to fill out one of the affidavits for them. You need at least 3 in order to qualify to be a commissioned healer. And that is currently Charles and Sandy. Please remain seated as we now recite the healing prayer, the healing hymn, and this will be raising our vibrations, focusing our energy so we come together in unity. And that is on page 109, He Healeth Me. Both verses. Here, take your phone. Yes. 109, there it is.
Sorry, what number?
109. He healeth me, O blessed thought, O words with heavenly comfort fraught. Whate'er I do, where'er I be, still 'tis God's love that healeth me. Lord, I would feel my life in my
light to thrill my soul with love divine, to bind me closer still to thee, since 'tis thy love that healeth me.
And now, for the healing prayer, which should be on the first page or the last page of your email books. You won't know until you turn to that page. And we'll recite this together. I ask the great unseen healing force to remove all obstructions from my mind and body and to restore me to perfect health. I ask this in all sincerity and honesty, and I will do my part. I ask this great unseen healing force to help both present and absent ones who are in need of help, and to restore them to perfect health. I put my trust in the love and power of God. And now I ask the healers to station themselves at their chairs, and you're free to come on up to get a hands-on healing. And if you don't want anybody to touch your shoulders, let them know, then they won't do it, I promise. Hands are the focal point of spiritual energy, coming from the spirit world and passing through the healer's hands into the one requesting to be healed. It is helpful for the one in need to be mindful of this gift being shared and to think of themselves as being restored by this action. And now I would like to ask Reverend Lynn Rogers to come on up. She will be giving us a meditation, while the rest of you feel free to use the healing chairs. Thank you.
Good morning. So as we experience the healers and the healing chairs, I would also like us to go on a voluntary journey. And I have background in the work of Edgar Casey. One of the books that helped me a lot was the Edgar Casey Story of Jesus by Jeffrey First. And Edgar Casey suggested that there was a reincarnational and a metaphysical story that underlay that story. I'd like to take us on an imaginary journey and see if we can experience those times and those places. So take a deep breath. Let go of any dis-ease, anything that's out of harmony. And take a deep breath and attune yourselves to the higher metaphysical healing forces. Imagine that it's 2,000 years ago, and that you find yourself at a time when the world is rather troubled, and there's confusion. And the vibrations are rather dark and troubled. There's a group of Jewish people, not the Sadducees, not the Pharisees, but the Essenes. And the Essenes are like we are. They study meditation. They know about guidance. They know about the stars. And so the Essenes gathered together in temples that were later unearthed. And Edgar Casey said there were priestesses too amongst the Essenes. And some of the unearthed archaeological material shows entrances for both male and female persons of spirit. So you're in a scene, and you're a group that seeks to elevate the consciousness of the world as you find it, just as we might want to do now. And particularly, there were a group of young maidens who followed some of the principles of holistic diet and did lots of preparation, meditation, along with the rest of the group. And these 11 maidens, you might have been one of them or known them, gathered one day together, and there were steps in the temple, and an angel appeared. We believe in angels. And the angel appeared, and the angel came and directed their wings, their energy, to a young maiden called Mary. It would be Mary who had a special role to play. In the Edgar Casey readings, Mary, the soul that became Jesus, had lived before. They had lived before as we have. At the same time, they were part of an elder brother-sister energy called Arcturus. So Mary was designated, and we hear the story of Immaculate Conception. The Casey reading suggested she also had come into being through her mother Anne in the same way. And that Mary was actually the companion soul of Jesus, and he to her throughout time. So you're a maiden, or you know this maiden, and as the story of the Bible comes to pass, she carries a child that seems quickened by spirit. And we know the story of looking for the safe place. We know the story of the wise men, who probably were astrologers, who were called by events in the stars to come and celebrate the birth of a special individual who was not only that child, but represented the intentions of the Essenes to bring clear channels of light into the world. And each of us is like an Essene. And we experience being a child with a special mission. Each of us has a mission too. And growing up and coming into our memory of our other lives, as Jesus did, and coming into our consciousness and our ability to change the world for the better. There was another couple, a Essene couple, who had expected a special child years before this, a child who would be very important in bringing light in the world, and they had a little girl named Judith. And as Jesus grew up, Judith became, according to the readings, his teacher. And she took him may have traveled with him and made him aware of many other times and places where he may have lived and journeyed before his life as Jesus. We too have lived before and journeyed. According to the case of readings, all the races of humanity are equal, and we have been in more than one race on earth. So as Jesus, and you are the student as he was, opens up to the deeper spiritual awakening, the guidance, the metaphysical story of humankind and the earth, he becomes more aware of his purpose. Each of us has a purpose, something that you can do that no one can do as well. The way that you can brighten your corner of the world as no one else can brighten it. So this is a metaphorical story of our own journey as well. And as did Jesus eventually meet animosity for bringing that light, so many of us have felt isolated. We felt misunderstood as old souls in the earth, and sometimes very much alone. Before the crucifixion of Jesus Christ, he had a time where he was off by himself and tempted, quote, by the devil with 3 temptations. And one of them was this shy tin, who to the Zoroastrians is the shadow self of us, said, I can turn all these rocks into bread. And Jesus had had a lifetime before. One of his lives was as a person named Hermes in Nubia, Africa. And in that life, he had been a great wise one who came back into Egypt with Ra and Isis. But when he came back from Africa into Egypt, it was the beginning of what we might call some of the isms, the racism and the sexism, and it was hurtful to him, and he loved good food. Hermes, he loved good food. So he became a very big person with the comfort of food. And sometimes we turn to too much of things in our lives when we seek comfort. So Hermes, Jesus was tempted that all the rocks could be turned into bread. That would be nice. So he had to stay in that center, in that balance, as we sometimes become out of balance with things that superficially comfort us. It may not be to our greater good. And also he was offered to fly in as a great ruler. He was offered to have others bow before him. But he'd done that in other lives. He'd done those things in Atlantis, flying into India as Ram. And as Joseph in the Old Testament, his brothers were understandably jealous of him because he had a mother at great age who was the real wife of their father, and she kind of lauded him. When he was taken by the brothers, blood put on his garments, and they thought he had died, he was taken to Egypt where he became a great dream interpreter. Some of us have those gifts. When there was going to be famine in the land, the Pharaoh's wife, they had a dream of big sheaves of wheat and straggly sheaves of wheat, and he was able to tell them that this famine was to come. His brothers ultimately had to come before him and beg for food, and there was the part of him that really enjoyed the having to crawl a bit. So he didn't quite reach the full enlightenment promise. Each of us is like an Essene. Each of us, as Jesus and Mary and those that surrounded them, were able to bring light into the world. So are we now at this special time of year and always. So as we say goodbye to the Essenes in our imagination, we realize that we too are part of a group that seeks to bring the light. Thank you for listening to that rather long story, a mystical story at this time of the year.
So I would now like to read a list. These are, we have a healing book. We also have on the left-hand side, a tribute to those that have passed on recently. And the two people that I have on this list are, both of them have recently crossed over to the other side, where they have a better understanding of what their life is about, what they have learned, and what they're continuing to learn, and what they're seeing what we are learning. So thank you for their graduation to the other side. For the healing list, I ask that we focus sending our healing energy to those that could use some healing. And that list is, so these are the people that it looks like they need some healing. We don't need to know what their afflictions are because our healing spirits, they know. They know what's going on. They know what attention is needed. I now ask our spiritual healers to, when they're completed, they can go back to sitting down the way they were before. Resume their normal positions. And again, hands with the focal point of the energy coming from the spirit world, passing through the healer's hands and the one requesting to be healed. And if you felt like you've received the beneficial healing, we do have the affidavits in the back that we invite you to fill out. And so that is now the conclusion of our healing service. And I guess that's it for me.
Thank you, Reverend Bob. And now I will be announcing our speaker today. Our speaker today is Tim Mauro, who comes from us, from our church. Before he actually speaks, we will be singing He Leadeth Me. No, I'm kidding around. That sounds just so. Oh Spirit, actually no, that's exactly how about all things bright and beautiful, page number 27.
27. All things bright.
Yeah. 27.
27.
All things bright and wonderful,
made their glowing colors. He made their tiny wings. All things bright and beautiful, all creatures great and small. All things wise and wonderful, the Lord God made them all. The mountains, the river running by, the sunset and the morning, red brightens up the sky. All things bright and beautiful, all creatures great and small. All things wise and wonderful, the Lord God made them all. The flowing in the winters, the pleasant summer sun, the ripe fruits in the garden, He made them every one. All things bright and beautiful, all creatures great and small. All things wise and wonderful, the Lord God made them all. He gave us eyes to hear, and this that we might tell how great is God Almighty, who has made all things so well. All things bright and beautiful, all creatures great and small. All things wise and wonderful, the Lord God made them all.
This is just a reminder, all things are bright and beautiful, including all of us. All right, Tim Mauro.
Thank you, Avery.
You're very welcome.
Can you all hear me?
No, just kidding.
In that case, good morning. And yes, in spite of how many people may be defining this morning and this day, it is in fact a good morning. If anyone in this service or listening to a recording of the talk at a later time might be moving through an experience that's less than good or happy or harmonious or prosperous, now is the time to remind yourself that is not the truth of the situation. It's a real experience that you're moving through, but it's not the truth. And there's a difference. The truth is that we are each a perfect expression of infinite intelligence that we usually call God, each expressing in a magnificent and unique way. When you recognize this truth, that's the very instant that the experience out here is ready to be healed. Now, we're well into the time of year that we tend to call the holiday season, when many different cultures, at least in this area, many different cultures celebrate several different winter traditions. Of course, we finished just recently the tradition from the Hindu, Sikh, and Jain religions, the festival of lights called Diwali. And of course, in not only the Christian tradition, but pretty much all over the Western civilization, we have people celebrating the Christmas season, which Bob mentioned in his newsletter. I'll bet money that's what Tim will be talking about. Sorry, Bob, it's the other holiday that I'm focusing on, but at least I mentioned Christmas. So starting at sundown this evening, our Jewish brothers and sisters begin the celebration of Hanukkah. which, like I said, it's the focus of this talk. Though it's not by any means considered the most important holiday in the Jewish tradition, all of these holidays, all of these traditions are important when we look at where they're pointing, where they're leading us. That is the light within you that never goes out, even when we move through what we often call a dark night of the soul. For most places on earth, winter tends to be a darker and colder time than the rest of the year, so it tends to be a symbol of that dark night. And then as students of teachings like this, that's the challenge we have all year round. Whenever you're moving through a dark time, so to speak, learn to move through it and be unmoved by it, and know that as you're moving back into the light, that light within you is always there to dissipate the darkness. Not unlike those headlights you have on your car when you're having to drive home at 12 a.m.
Unless they're Teslas, they are way too bright.
Yeah, in our cases though, there's no such thing as way too bright.
True.
Now, the story of Hanukkah is certainly about an entire nation moving through that experience and finding the light in it. I'll give you the short version of the Hanukkah story, but even in the short version, we have to go all the way back to Alexander the Great, who died at a very young age in 323 BC, but not before conquering a large part of the civilized world. And upon his death, his massive empire was divided up among his generals. So the Middle Eastern area of Syria and Palestine was taken over by a general by the name of Seleucus, and thus called the Seleucid Empire. Now, fast forward to the year 168 BCE, or BC, however you like to say it. A new emperor was taking the throne of this empire by the name of Antiochus IV. His predecessor, Antiochus III, had been known as Antiochus the Great, and so this new emperor wanted a nickname of his own. But when your predecessor was called the Great, how do you follow that act? You know, Antiochus the Even Greater doesn't have much of a ring to it. So to fully satisfy his huge ego, he called himself Antiochus Epiphanes, which means Antiochus who is God in your midst. And to live up to this title, he put out a decree that as I am God in your midst, I will be making all the religious rules for everyone throughout the kingdom. So everyone's expected to worship this god, Zeus, on this day, and perform that ritual for the goddess Aphrodite on that day, and so on, all to my specifications. And most people throughout the empire just went along with the program, not wanting any trouble. But there was this group in Palestine called the Hebrews who took this matter very seriously. And they made it clear to him with no hesitation that we worship one God and one God only, our God, Allah. And we worship according to his specifications, not yours. Sorry, non-negotiable. Now, this not only angered this emperor, but also thoroughly confused him, because in the Hellenistic Greek culture of which he was a part, now how religious a person is determined by how many different gods they worship. So a person who worships only 20 different gods is only half as religious as one who worships 40. And then a person who worships 80 different gods is twice as religious as that person. So here were these Jews, these Hebrews, who worshiped one and one only. As far as he was concerned, they were about as close to being atheists as you could get. And they're getting their backs up in the air about him making all the religious rules. See a basic cultural misunderstanding there. So the only conclusion he could come to was that they were disloyal to the empire and planning on overthrowing him. So he began bearing down hard on them, and he declared that anytime a Hebrew worship service was held, it was a crime punishable by the death penalty. And anytime a male child was circumcised, or anytime a person was even found with a copy of the Torah, those were all capital crimes, punishable by death. And the more pressure he put on them to fall in line with his religious rules, the more adamant they became that we will not bow down to the demands of this pagan, heathen emperor. So a situation like that is always bound to come to a boiling point, and the boiling point came at a town on the outskirts of Jerusalem called Modane. Antiochus's captain of the guard decided to gather the whole town together to perform a pagan ritual at their local synagogue. He had done his homework and realized that a most offensive way to desecrate the altar at their synagogue was to sacrifice a sow, a female pig, to one of their gods. This was a double insult because females were not allowed near the altar and a pig was considered an unclean animal. So they did this to make it clear to the people that they had absolutely no religious freedom. Don't take your religious freedom we have here for granted. And the temple priest of that synagogue, by the name of Matthias, had had enough at that point and went up to the captain of the guard and told him, well, if this is the way it's got to be, let's at least get some fun out of it. So he took out his sword and sacrificed the captain of the guard at the altar. So the altar was desecrated, and the fires of rebellion had been lit, and the revolt was on. And it was led by the eldest son of Matthias, by the name of Judas Maccabee, which means Judas the Hammerer. And upon hearing about this, Antiochus decided that the city of Jerusalem had to be destroyed and these people needed to be cut down or even annihilated if necessary. And it seemed like it was going to work at first because the Jews had a problem. They were extremely faithful to the Mosaic law and had to observe the Sabbath day. And so they could only fight 6 days a week, whereas the Seleucids could fight 7 days a week. And it's hard to win a war when you're keeping an even point for 6 days and then getting slaughtered on the seventh day while praying and meditating to the Torah. So eventually they had to ask themselves a question that went something like, did God make the Sabbath for men or men for the Sabbath? And it was finally decided that it was not the will of their God, Allah, that his chosen people be annihilated for the sake of keeping the Sabbath day. They started fighting 7 days a week and started winning. So this Maccabean War has come to be known, started in 168 BC and ended in 165 BC. When Judas Maccabee recaptured the city of Jerusalem and reinstated the temple. And with the other temple priests, went in to reconsecrate the temple. And according to tradition, they only had enough oil to keep the lamps burning for one night, but they stayed lit for 8 days and nights. So this is why in the Jewish faith, we have the tradition of the 8-branch candelabra called the menorah, or proper name is Hanukkah. As you can see, it actually has 9 branches, and 8 to represent the 8 days that the temple lights are said to have burned, and 1 in the middle called the shamash, which is used to light a new candle on each of the 8 days. So first candle will be lit by our Jewish brothers and sisters tonight. Now let's look at the metaphysics of this. In the Middle East, whenever you see the number 8, it's a sign that something has been completed and the person or people being written about are ready to move into something new and greater. As many of you probably know, the number 7 in the Bible means something is complete. So 8 is the start of the next chapter, the next experience. And in this story, they were ready to begin a time of freedom from religious persecution. Now, how about your story? What freedom are you ready to begin? Any time that any of us is moving through a trying time in which an experience is so overwhelming and feels like it's trying to be God itself, like that terrible emperor Antiochus, that's when it's most important to remember it's not God or even close. There's a greater power that's always ready for us to use, to awaken to. So daily remind yourself that whatever lesson you need to learn from the experience you're moving through, embody the lesson and move into a new chapter of life, one greater than anything you've ever known. Embody that lesson first, and what happens in the physical world out here will work out fine. The quote from the Old Testament, or Torah, with all that getting, get first understanding. That came from the book of Proverbs in the Jewish Bible, often called the Old Testament, about 900 years before this story took place. So I invite everyone here to let this holiday season be the start of your newfound freedom. And let the lights that shine on a menorah or Christmas tree, or candles and lights used for a Wali celebration, or what's that new modern Kwanzaa, thank you. Whatever you enjoy at this time of year, let it be a reminder of the light that shines within you eternally. So let's all let it be our way. And I hope you found that talk beneficial in some way. And this was written by a friend of mine a few decades ago. He let me adopt it. It's based on a poem by Thomas Merton, Christian mystic and poet.
Says nothing. Oh, silent branches touching snow. Love winter when the plant says nothing. Oh, love silently grows. Has been promised your light fire. Turn deep inside, we can no longer hide our song in the night. silent branches touching snow. Love winter when the plant says nothing. Oh, love silently grows. Oh, peace, come bless this madness, our tears and our gladness, as we wait for thee. Peace, bless this our growth, this time that is both our silence and song. Love winter when the plant says nothing. No silent branches touching snow. Love winter when the plant says nothing. Oh, love silently grows. Oh,
Now I'd like to thank the speaker, Tim. Thank you very much for your speech. Let the lights shine within us always. Let that be a reminder that that we are all just one tiny light on this big giant rock in this huge giant universe of universes. And now time for the love offering. We now ask for the donation to our church collection basket. This money goes towards the rent of this space and any other expenses that we incur. Your gift is greatly appreciated. Infinite Intelligence, thank you for allowing us to gather and share your spiritual knowledge today. With this collection, we will be able to continue to our spiritual growth. We will continue to share your gifts bestowed upon us with others. Let this offer be a sign of our dedication to your church. Let it help us carry on the message of spiritualism. Let your light continue to reach us. Amen. You're very welcome. Now to the announcements. And before I forget, and I'm a very forgetful person, I'm just going to go ahead and do my funny story now. Last week, oh God, I love this. Last week we had our seance. We usually have our seances weekly, or weekly seances. And I go into trance every time when I'm in Salem, when I go to the seances. And one of the people, their name is TL. I was starting to come out of that trance, and one of the things that happened was I started to hear her, and one of the things she said was, "You stole the mouth out of my words." And then everybody in the, all of us started laughing like crazy. TL too. Yeah, it was just like, usually, because I think what had happened, what was it? I think it was Lisa had said something.
Lisa said something. I said, you took the mouth right out
Yeah,
of my
you
words.
took the mouth right out of my words. And so it was just like, that was the funniest thing that said. So I thought that would be a funny story for me to actually share. Okay, so announcements. Seance donations versus collection. You want
Well,
to?
those are little notes that I wrote for myself.
Okay, you want to talk about that?
Okay. What did I write? Seance donations. Oh, that's an old one. Never mind.
what happened?
That was an old one. Never
Oh,
mind.
that's
I
an
said
old
I
one.
mentioned it last time. But guess what? We're having a Christmas potluck next week, next Sunday. So I was a little worried because last week when I brought it up, it's like nobody had put anything on the list. And I thought, we're going to have lasagna and that's it. There's a lot of names on that list now, so it's going to be a success.
Heck, might as well order a bunch of pizzas.
If they want to do that, you can do that too. Okay.
right.
But I'm going to have lasagna, and somebody's bringing chicken, and I didn't see what the rest was, but there's going to be quite a bit of food. We're also going to have a raffle at that time, so I'll be bringing tickets, and it's going to be $1 a ticket. The prizes that are being given away are going to be gift cards. They're going to be in envelopes, so nobody's going to know what they're picking. It'll be up here. It's like you just pick away. If your number gets called, you come up, you pick one, and whatever you get, that's what you get. So I know that one of the gift cards is going to be $50, one is going to be $40, one's going to be $20. Probably another one that will be $20.
Say, Bob, is there
Yes.
going to be a Tesla in there? I want that.
Oh, there could be. It could be a Tesla.
Hey, I better win then.
You can buy all the tickets.
I know, right?
Okay. Let's see. Oh, and the clothing drive, it's almost ending. I got quite a bit of clothes at home right now. It's like, I'm going to be glad to finally get rid of them. They're taking up space. But we're going for one more week, so next Sunday will be the last time we'll be able to take clothes. And
What
somebody's
type of clothing? Yeah.
well, usually winter clothing, but I'm sure they wouldn't turn down summer clothing because my friends, my friends Tito and Richard, they have their own organization which they help the homeless.
There was another event,
That was quite a while back then, but yeah, okay.
event that was can hold for.
Oh. I don't remember, but oh well. Anyway, but they have their own
You
organization.
have the room set.
Oh yes, yeah, because we were using their space. That's right. That's right. So they do it all throughout the year, and they donate food too. So, but thank you for the clothes you're donating, because I'm sure somebody was going to appreciate it.
So
So,
men and women.
and what was that?
It's for men and women.
No, yes, yeah, because there are women that are homeless too. So, okay. And is that it? Oh, our public seance is happening also next week on a Saturday. That's on the 20th, because church is on the 21st, it's on the 20th. So if you're interested, that's going to be $30. It's at 8 p.m. at my place. You're going to let me know if you want to come, so I can give you my address. And I think that's going to be it. But Avery just stepped out, so I guess I'll move on. So we're going to move on to spirit messages. Sandy, are you going to participate? Okay, and I'm sure Avery will when he returns. And Lynn, you're going to participate? Okay. And since I'm standing up here, I might as well start. Okay. I see Christmas colors over here, the red and the green, they go together. It's a good thing you're sitting both together. And then we got a lot of grays, and black, oh, another red, and purple, and kind of bluish gray. I want to lean over to when I give you a message.
Yes.
Okay. And I see a candle. I see a lit candle, and it's like it's bobbing up and down. You know how candles do that? Blah, 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 blah.
Yes.
They're bobbing up and down. And it's like you're taking this candle and moving it around, so it does a little bit of swirling action. Taking this candle, swirling it around, sharing the light, sharing the light. So the light illuminates this area, this area, this area, back to you, illuminating yourself and coming around and doing it again. Illuminating the space around you so it's not just in one place. So sharing. And then I'm getting like sparkles. It's like you've got a little can of sparkles, you take it out and you're throwing it this way and that way so that it catches the light. So they're nice glittering, going to all around you, even behind you. So you toss it over your shoulder, just glitter everywhere. This candle is reflecting off of that glitter. So it's very festive. It's very festive. It's very mood enhancing. More excitement going on. Things are not dull. So there's some activity going on around you. There's someone off to the side that's moody. That's being very moody. They do not want to participate in this gaiety, if I can call it that, this joy. What is wrong with this person? It's past you, it's over there, it's past you, it's behind you. Someone in your life that is not very happy. You're just going to have to respect that, because I don't anticipate that you're going to be able to turn their mood around. But respect them, and that should help a little bit.
Okay.
And I think that's the message.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Let's see. Can I come to you in the back? The one in the back. For you, I'm getting a ship, an old-time ship, a wooden ship. A time when ships were made of wood and men were made of iron, way back then. And cannons, I see cannons too. It's like for protection. So you need to stand up for yourself. You need to protect what's yours. Don't let people trample over you. Because I'm seeing the broadside of a ship, and it's like threatening to shoot the cannons. And the people, whoa, okay, I guess I better back up. So you don't want to step down from that. They will. So I don't mean that to be in a mean way. I don't mean by confrontation, but you don't want to get trampled on. And let them know that. Let them know you mean business. Because I sense you have a tendency to back down. Don't do it. You have a right to be here just as much as everybody else. So keep up that strength, and spirits are behind you. Spirits are behind you. I don't know what the situation is, but I hope that's no, you're not sure? Let's see if we can clarify that. It's something to do with your family, like quarrels within a family. It's like people may think that you're a pushover, and don't let them think that. Don't let them think that. You're your own person. So I hope that makes sense to you. Okay. Oh, I see nodding. Okay, good. Okay, you're welcome. And I'll do one more. You know, I'm going to go to you. Okay. Because otherwise, if you're up here, I forget.
Okay.
I see you at your table giving readings. It's kind of uneven. It's still a little unstable because I see you at your table and that table gets high. And it's like, so it's a high table, but then I also see points where it's a low table where you're kind of down low, or people looking down at you. And so there's this level in between. So things are a little unstable. Just roll with that. Roll with that. Things are going to happen. There's going to be this hills that go up and down with your readings. You're just doing your business. Time in service things will get better. You'll get stronger. It's like the little disappointing things, they won't bother you much. It's just another thing, just to brush it off. And you want to focus on the high points of your career. Anything else? Be strong. I just saw this, like the Romans do. Be strong. Just remember that. Remember that. Remember that. So I hope that provides encouragement for you. Okay. Thank you. That's it for me.
Thank you.
Who would like to go next? No, Lynn would like to go next.
Okay.
That's all right.
Can I come to you? Another Michelle.
Yeah.
Can you uncross your hands for a minute? What helps me is to just hear the sound of a person's name, because I'm a sound receiver. You say your whole name? I'm feeling a fairy energy around you, and that is you have a close connection to feline friends, to cats, but there's a little magical nature energy around you, and actually fairies. And if you have something, if you tend to plants at all right around where you are, even in your room or outside, it will help. Having something of nature inside. It can even be gathering things, gathering perhaps a little branch of fir tree falls or something that you bring into your room. because of the nature energy. And also the moonstone would be good for you because it helps brings your heart's desire. And they have that in rock shops. That would be a good one. And healing foods. And they don't have to be fancy, but the tendency now you're on healing foods. And those foods are going to bring a lot of peace to you and all these changes in the spring months. You're going to really feel yourself hitting your stride. May I come to you?
Yes.
You can say your name, your whole name, and then you put your hands up and actually move around Avery to continue to go. I always feel that connection to that previous life. When we talked about Jesus' soul living before as Hermes, and I feel like you were a healer, you were connected. So your healings reach a very deep level of blue-green emotional healings. And sometimes a voice will come and touch the person. So are you doing your healing certification?
What I'm about to.
Oh, good, because I'm supposed to certify a healing plan with you, and that's a good path for you.
Okay.
Because in other lives you've done that. You also were with Hermes in his life in Greece, and you were traveling between cultures. And you'd like to travel and be freer to move more now, and hopefully that will come to pass. But you have about 3 steps to take to get your mobility really going. And that means changing some habits and different things to the good. And your mobility will pick up.
Okay.
So it should be good.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. May I come to you?
Yes.
If you could just uncross your hands and say your name.
Thank you.
Well, you have a guy that to me seems very close to you, almost like a oneness. It could be a very close soul to you who is on the other side of life, not in body form. I think it's a masculine soul, and I feel a dynamic between the two of you. Kind of we talked about with the Essenes and Mary and Jesus being very close souls. This is someone close to you, but not in body form. And that entity wants you to know consciously about him. He's been there a long time. But he's so much part of you that sometimes you don't see him. It's as if he's your right hand or left hand. One lifetime you might have used the name of Gabriel, very, very high angelic source. I see you counting through like little coins and things. What does that symbolize? Maybe balancing your finances and your choices, you know, where this goes, where that goes, where this goes. They'd like you to do some writing about what is second nature to you and to tell other people the steps you take to do the things you do. It would be good for all of us to write things that we do as second nature, but there are many of them. If you haven't thought of writing it, it's a good time to consider it. Thank you. And there's a golden sun around you. There's a Casey reading for some people whose later years, which most of are in our mid and later years, would be like a noonday sun. So it feels like there's something bright and good ahead for you. You're welcome.
Good morning, family. It is always an honor, a blessing, and a pleasure to serve spirits. Who has not had a message? Please raise their hand. Okay. Let's see. Your mother is actually raising her hand for you. Yes. She's jumping up and down, actually. Yeah, she's actually jumping up and down. And she says, you don't need your glasses right now, you don't need your glasses, but I don't know, I'm just putting them on anyways for some reason. Actually, the first thing that came up for me was like a rainbow for you. It was like multiple different colors. The 2 colors that really came to me, actually now 3, is orange, red, and orange, red, and there's another color that just disappeared. Yellow, orange, red, and yellow in particular, but all the colors in particular. and they're all radiating around your aura, okay? So it goes all around you. And as I said, who has not got a message? She was like jumping up and down, okay? And she's touching on your shoulders, and she's touching around your, and I keep wanting to focus in on your upper part of your body, okay? She shows me that you've been having a lot of physical pain. And so she's saying she wants to send you a lot of healing in this area, okay? And so I want to say, it's not her that's sending it, it's actually your healing guides. You're also in touch with your healing guide, right? Not really? Not really? Okay, well get in touch with the healing guide, or if you're not in touch with the healing guide, just know that your healing guide is healing you as well. But your mother's been watching over you, and she's actually telling you, your mom is actually trying to tell you to actually kind of slow down because you've been doing things a little bit too fast. Notice how my speech is a little bit fast right now, I'm kind of talking a little bit fast. It's because you've been kind of going a little bit fast, okay? So she's like, take things a little bit slow, okay? Kind of slow down. I feel like it's just been fast for you. Things have been a little bit fast. You've been taking things at a higher level. It's okay to slow down, okay? God bless you, love and blessings, everything's gonna be okay. If there's something that you've been overwhelmed with, let it go. Let it go. It's gonna be okay. Okay? And I feel like I'm gonna get to all of you who have not been read. I want to come to you, Tim. How are you doing, sir? Great. Awesome. There is it's either a mother or a grandmother on the mother's side of the house that comes through. They're standing right on the side of you, and they're kind of embracing you, and they're holding you. Is your mother on the side? Is your mother crossed over?
Yeah.
Not yet? Okay, so this would actually be grandmother on the mother's side of the house then. And I'm going to describe how she actually looks. She's actually got kind of the same color hair as you, okay? And it's actually, it's shoulder length or a little bit past shoulder length. And like I said, it's the same color. And she spends a lot of time with you. And she's smiling, and she's very, very happy. And she just wants to give you a lot of joy. Well, interesting. And I keep seeing, like, you know when you light a candle? And it's that same exact color when you light that candle. So it's almost like, I feel like she's lighting a candle for you. And it's that same color, okay? And I've never gotten that before. So I'm trying to figure out what that means, but she's lighting a candle for you. Would you understand what that means when she's lighting you a candle? Okay, there's something about that. So sometimes I don't understand that, so I'm just going to give that to you, okay? So I'm just going to give that to you.
It was just his birthday, very recently.
Very recently.
It was his birthday.
Recently? Okay. How long? A week and a half ago, and it was only one candle. Sometimes Spirit will only show one candle to represent how many weeks ago that was. It was a white candle, one candle. Can you believe that? Happy birthday, buddy. How about that? That's why they were lighting the candle. Is your favorite color gold or yellowish or something like that? Or something like that color right there, like white? Close to that, because that's what color is coming up right now, okay? That's the color that's actually coming up right now. So I want to give you that, and that's what she's holding on to right now. The other thing that's being shown is musical notes, okay? I don't know if you've been actually writing new music, but she showed me musical notes, and it's just like musical notes are coming up, musical notes coming up, music. I'm just going to give you that. Love and blessings. Keep up the good work. Sending you a lot of joy, sending you a lot of energy, love and blessings. God bless you. And then I'd like to step into your rate of vibration, please. Hi there. I love that smile. Keep up that smile. I want to come in with what feels like a father rate of vibration for you. Would you understand that? If I say that to you, a father's rate of vibration? Or somebody that feels like Father rate of vibration? Okay, perfect. Because I'm going to explain this challenge to you. He comes directly on the father's side of the house. He's got a goatee, is how he shows me. He's got like this goatee or something like that. This is what I'm seeing, okay? And he has that father figure feeling, okay? And he comes through to you, and he wants to embrace you, and the feeling I'm getting is warmth and comfort, and he just wants to share that feeling of love with you during this season of Christmas, okay? And there's something about this holiday. There's something particular and special about this holiday in particular. And that's what he keeps showing me. And I don't know, does that resonate with you? Not yet? Okay, hold on to that. Or I'm going to at least give that to you. Because what I'm seeing is a lot of snow. And I'm actually also focusing on the color red. Even though I'm seeing the color red in your jacket, I'm also seeing the color red like flashing to me. Okay, so I'm going to give that to you. And I also want to leave you with this Father with a vibration. Okay? Love and blessings.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Avery was really on a roll this morning.
I apologize about that.
Who hasn't had a message yet? Oh, thank you. Before I start, I'd like to tell you just a little thing that brought a smile to my face this morning. As I was driving down here at Stonestown, there's this one little church on 19th Avenue. I don't know how it survived the building of Stonestown, but they have a very, very tiny front lawn, really tiny, maybe about a third of this room. And today it was filled with snow. They had about one foot of snow there, and there was a line about a half a block long of kids waiting to get a turn to get into the snow. Because how often do you see snow in San Francisco? And how often can you walk on it or even touch it? So I thought that was a very nice, brought a smile to my face. So, Robert, let me come into your rate of vibration.
Thank you.
I'm standing here and I have my hands behind my back. And I usually don't do that very often because it's usually somebody that's really thinking about something and they're trying to come to some type of decision. And I feel that this is in what has been happening now, that you are in a time of decision, whether to stay or to go. And it has to do with some type of movement. This is just a thought. It's not time to come to a decision now. And I want you to wait until, I'd say mid-April, before you make any more decisions about yourself, the church, the family. Just rest for a while. You've been very busy. So I'm going to leave that with you, and your friend is here with you, and he's very pleased with you. But he says, just wait a bit. Just wait a bit. Stop pushing. Okay, thank you. And I think you didn't have a message, right? Well, as I come into your rate of vibration, I'm very pleased because I'm seeing a balance board on the top of you, and it's going like this. And to me, this means that things are fairly in balance in your life right now. We have the little ups and downs, but otherwise there's no major problems right now. And I want you to thank your spirit guides for that because they always help us with all of our things. There's a gentleman that comes close to you, and he comes in a friend's rate of vibration. He's sort of tall, had brownish hair, and I feel he went to Spirit fairly young, maybe in his 20s or 30s. But he's there with you. He wants you to know that when you take walks, you're not alone. He's always there with you. He wants you to move forward. Move forward. I'm standing here and I feel like one foot is sort of tied behind me. And he says, you know, you're the only one that can untie the cord. You can't allow can't say, oh, you have to do that, or you have to do this. No, you're the one who could do it. And you know, this cord isn't attached to anything. It's in your mind. So you have to sit down someday and get a rope or something and just untie it. And I'm untying all of the things that are binding me right now. I want to thank you for that. Let me come into your rate of vibration, please. Can I hear your voice?
Yes, you may. Yes, ma'am.
One of my guides is here. My mom, really, and she's coming in on a motherly rate of vibration to you, and she's telling me that you've been trying too hard. You've been trying too hard to push yourself into doing things that in some of them you're not ready for yet. You just have to, I want to say, grow and to wait a little bit. When you're ready, as they say, when you're ready, it will come. And if you push it, it will just get, I want to say, get you nervous and upset. Remember that you are the person that makes decisions about your life. Spirit comes in occasionally and says this and that, but remember, that's their opinion. You have your own opinion. And I want to thank everybody for allowing me to work today. We're very pleased to be here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sid.
Thank you for all the mediums. And I do apologize, I think I was in a bit of a trance. Sometimes that actually happens. If you notice that I speak a little bit fast, that's me going into a slight trance. So, I do apologize about that. So, yes. Now for the benediction. Let the spirit, the energy that we received today follow us throughout this week. Let us be receptive to our guides' messages and pay heed. Let us practice our beliefs each day. May we stay on our life's path and take joy in doing well. Take joy in doing kind deeds. Take joy in knowing our truths. Amen. I love you all so very much. And I'll see you guys next week. And for the Hanukkah. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.